एवं गुणे भ्राम्यमाणे मनसि अविकला पुमान् याति तत्साम्यतां भद्रे प्रियलिंगो लिंगवानिव एवं गुणे भ्राम्यमाणे मनसि अविकला पुमान् याति तत्साम्यतां भद्रे प्रियलिंगो लिंगवानिव एवं गुणैर्भ्राम्यमाने मनसि अविकला पुमान् याति तत्साम्यतां भद्रे प्रियलिंगो लिंगवानिव एवं गुणे भ्राम्यमाने मनसि अविकला पुमान् याति तत्साम्यतां भद्रे प्रियलिंगो लिंगवानिव
एवं गुणे भ्राम्यमाने
मनसि अविकला पुमान्
साम्यतां भद्रे
याति तत्साम्यतां भद्रे
प्रियलिंगो लिंगवानिव
एवं गुणैर्भ्राम्यमाणे मनसि अविकला पुमान्
साम्यतां भद्रे
साम्यतां भद्रे प्रियलिंगो लिंगवानिव. Can you do what 12 minutes after purpose? I will call them from the devotees. We have to go and come to us. Yes, can't be time. Oh, Abhi that is. Dheeraj sir going has sound to call Abhi. Yes, go from there. Let me get that. You start with what 12 minutes.
Evam, this way.
In this way.
Gunai, by the modes of material nature. Brahmyamani, when shaken. Manasi, the mind.
Avikala, changeless. Puman, the living entity. Yati, approaches. Tat samyatam, the same condition of agitation as the mind. Bhadre, O my gentle mother, he indeed alinga, without a subtle or gross body. Lingavan, possessing a material body. Eva, as if. Translation and purport by Divine Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: in the same way, O my gentle mother, when the mind is agitated by the movements of the modes of material nature, the living entity, although freed from all the different phases of the subtle and gross bodies, thinks that he has changed from one condition to another. Purport. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.84.13. यस्यात्म बुद्धि गुणपेति धातुके स्वधिकरत प्रादिशिभं मय्यति यत्तीर्थ बुद्धे सलिलना कर विजय जनेषु अभिज्ञेषु स एव गोखरा. A human being who identifies the body made of three elements as self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsmen, who considers the land of his birth worshipable, and who goes to a place of pilgrimage simply to bathe rather than to meet men of transcendental knowledge there, is to be considered like a cow or an ass. Although.
Also, you can read complete.
No, I didn't complete.
Compare it. Although Hiranyakashipu was a great demon, he was not as foolish as the population of the modern world. Hiranyakashipu had clear knowledge of the spirit soul and the subtle and gross bodies. But now we are so degraded that everyone, including the exalted scientists, philosophers, and other leaders, is under the bodily conception of life, which is condemned in the Shastras. Saiva Gokharaha, such persons are nothing but cows and asses. Hiranyakashipu advised his family members that although the gross body of his brother Hiranyaksha was dead and they were aggrieved because of this, they should not lament for the great soul of Hiranyaksha, who had already attained his next destination. Atma, the spirit soul, is always unchanged. Vikalaha Uman. We are a spirit soul, but when carried away by mental activities, mano dharma, we suffer from so-called material conditions of life. This generally happens to non-devotees. Harav abhaktasya kuto mahatguna. Non-devotees have positive, exalted material qualities, but because they're foolish, they have no good qualifications. The designations of the conditioned soul in the material world are decorations of the dead body. And the conditioned soul has no information of the spirit soul, no information of the spirit and its exalted existence beyond the effects of the material condition. You can repeat the translation after me. In the same way, O my gentle mother, when the mind is agitated, by the movements, of the modes of material nature, the living entity, although freed from all the different phases of the subtle and gross bodies, thinks that he has changed from one condition to another. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishvanamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजना सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरश्रे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are discussing from 7th canto, 2nd chapter, verse 24th. So it's a very wonderful section going on, where a lot of understanding about our real identity as soul is being given by such a great personality, Hiranyakashipu. In terms of his knowledge, it's quite great, that way. But yeah, he spoke such wonderful philosophy, but we know that how he did not work on that. So that's how he's called demon. But the philosophy is really good, so amazing it is. The way he described previous verses also very nicely, and this verse also is coming, telling about how the living entity actually he identifies with his mind and body, and then that's how he is in troublesome situation. He is always thinking in terms of his mind and subtle and gross bodies, and that's how he is always affected by so much of miseries. So his body identification, is the main problem, the conditions for body identification. Because of that, all tools are there. And scriptures also talk, that how somebody identifies with the body is simply nothing but Animal, cows and assets. Right? Prabhupada agrees only with this Prabhupada. So Vesa Prabhuti Kunabet Jhadake. Pati Karatrad Mom Injasi. Yatir Prabhuti Shalile Purchase. Ganesh Shalile Saiva Go. So this body identification is the business of animals. And if humans also identify with their body, then they also identify animals only. That's what he says. And he gives the details. No? When we have body identification, then how we think, how a person thinks. So he thinks that he's made up of these three elements, Kapha, Vata, Pitta. No? As per Ayurveda, if you see, the three constituents of the body. So he thinks that I am actually the body made up of Kapha, Vata, Pitta, and he thinks his relatives, kinsmen, to be his own or byproducts of the body. And he considers the land of his birth worshipable. Where he is born, he thinks, oh, he is very glorious. Dharani Janmabhoomi, Swarg Se Mahan hai, kind of thing. And he goes to a place of pilgrimage simply to bathe. So he thinks that this is how he gets some bad spirits and he can enjoy material life because he can get rid of all sins, sinful reactions. So he will have this kind of buddhi, tirtha buddhi. And also he won't be so eager to associate with transcendental personality. He goes to the holy place. So that's why he, that exhibits his body identification. That shows how he's identifying with the body, and that's how this thought process has come like that. So, so one thing becomes very clear that the other attitude depends upon what kind of understanding we have, what grade of knowledge we carry, what standard of knowledge we have. Depending upon that, actually our attitude also determined. Very good. Very good. Tiruvane, I went okay down.
Even I went there.
It's
not.
Who has some sticker power. Okay. So, yeah, so basically, you see that when in the current, like Prabhupada also telling that in the modern situation, people don't have this understanding only that we are not the body, we are soul. So Srila Prabhupada many times talks about this professor, Professor Kotowski. He says, no, Professor Kotowski I met in Russia. I don't know, and he doesn't know the difference between body and soul. Srila Prabhupada actually, many times he quotes it. Yesterday, I was hearing the lecture of Prabhupada on that audio. She asked him about it. So there, Prabhupada again was correcting about Professor Kotowski. I was thinking, again, so I could even imagine the lines what Prabhupada is going to speak. Prabhupada spoke the same thing, he's a big professor, but he doesn't know that it's not body and soul. Just see the modern scientific knowledge what people have. They have no understanding of the body, very different body and soul. So because of that, then their entire life's attitude is to just work on their body, and to have the relationship, to have what your dealings based on this body identification only. So their attitude is completely determined, or they have their attitudes based on the body identification. So this is some of the attitude I mentioned here. Like he will think his place of birth very worshipable. Is one of the attitude, right? And he will consider his body to be his own and relatives to be his own, and that means people who are not his kinsmen, so they're enemies or they're not his own, like that. So aham mameti, all that will come. So there are attitudes are determined based on what kind of knowledge he has, because the body identification, this kind of attitudes are there. And then attitude of sense enjoyment, material enjoyment, that becomes very prominent. So as soon as we identify with body, then what happens? The material enjoyment propensity, it takes to it becomes full swing actually. So then person will get head on into such gratification. Because what he knows is only body and senses and mind. So he only knows one thing, that how I have to satisfy my body, satisfy my mind, satisfy my senses. So that's how his whole life's aim is like that. His whole life's aim is fixed, that I have to gratify my senses, I have to enjoy, and I have to just lord well everywhere. So this is what his whole attitude is. So it's all coming because of this body identification. So they want to show themselves that I'm a very handsome person. They will go to gym, they will build up their bicep triceps, whatever. Lot of things they do. So many things they do. And then they will also have this nowadays this beauty parlor for women, and men also have this there nowadays. So both things. So they will keep decorating the body. Then they will also keep making plans to go for a different place to visit and enjoy. eat varieties of things. So many varieties of ways people are trying to explore. And America is like, it's like a ground of exploration for varieties of material enjoyment. So many ways, sometimes people can get just bewildered. What kind of different ways they are trying to figure out. So this is going on, just in their attempt to see how they can increase, the quantity and quality of their material environment. So this is the whole focus. And so all focus is because of this, basically this platform of body identification. You identify body, then the propensity to enjoy this material world, it becomes so big, you can see. And there is no end to it. There is no end to it. Like Hiranyakashipu is, no end to it. Of course, he has the money. So anyway, so this is one thing that if body identification is there, then it's very difficult to stop our program for identification. Not possible. That's why even when practicing devotees also, and why we get into this, sometimes track the trap of material environment, because still the body identification has not gone. So we now and then we keep getting trapped by that. We become more focused on bodily environment, material environment, mind travel again. That's because we have still not actually realized or understood this, very properly. The conviction has not yet come in. So that's why the propensity for material environment will not go. That's why Srila Prabhupada so many times he focus on vision of the body and soul. So many lectures, practically almost every lecture, Prabhupada will tell this. And this verse is quoted so many times. That's how the Buddha can be practically so many lectures, thousands of lectures Prabhupada must have quoted. So because this is the disease of the condition that he misidentified. Because in fact that's the original disease. Because of our misidentification of the body only, the whole our material life is going on. If this misidentification is removed, then immediately one can come to spiritual platform and can actually work on his spiritual life and go back to body. So this is this kind of material attitude for enjoyment, material enjoyment, is very nicely set when somebody has misidentification of the body. So this is one kind of attitude, basically. Now somebody may have that knowledge also. Like here in Kashmir has knowledge. He understands that he's not the body, his soul. He's telling also people, his relatives, mother and in-laws and Hiranyaksha's wife, he's telling that you are not the body or soul, and he's telling so much wonderful philosophy. How the family just like let's talk on for some time and again they're separated. There's so many varieties nice in a restaurant example he gives. People come for some time and again depart. So saying we also come for some time as per our karma and again we depart. So he's telling nice philosophy, wonderful philosophy. But even after learning all that philosophy also, his program for material enjoyment is not ending, you see. Correct? Still is going ahead with material enjoyment. Then the question may come, Prabhu, just now you spoke that it's all probably because of this body identification. Now Hiranyakashipu is knowing the philosophy. He no doubt, he knows it and he's able to convince others also. Then still why is going for material enjoyment? So anyway, ask this question. It's very, important thing to consider that he knows so clearly that we get inspired. We think, come on, I should give up my this body identification. I should not think in terms of I and my, we will become very inspired. It's a very nice Bhagavatam class by Hiranyakashipu. But still, you can see that, the Hiranyakashipu is going ahead with material enjoyment plan. He's not compromising. In fact, he's doing so much of altruistic activity. Then one can ask, then what's our hope then? Even after knowing that I'm not the body and soul so clearly and making others also convinced, still he's head on going for material enjoyment and torturing the devotee. So then what is the solution then? Even after knowing the philosophy, still we are not able to change this attitude of material enjoyment. Then what is the solution for this? Right? What we can do, we can hear from Bhagavatam, we can hear the philosophy, we can understand the philosophy from different angles. And after that also, is it like, the attitude for material enjoyment will not go away? So it can be a question mark, right? After seeing Hiranyakashipu's example. Hiranyakashipu is so clear in his understanding, in his thought process. Very philosophically sound. Then why is still going ahead? So this is a very other important thing also, which actually determines that we actually don't remain stuck on this platform of or attitude of material enjoyment. The other important factor is that actually the knowledge, the philosophy is not sufficient. Actually, along with the philosophy of knowledge, the right kind of aspiration that plays a very crucial role. So Hiranyakashipu was attached, to his aspirations, particular enjoyment. The Brahmana says also, Matirna Krishna, Parta Pudoka, that was there. How he is completely attached, to his plans for material enjoyment. He has taken vrata, vows, to remain attached to his plans for material enjoyment. So actually, as conditions, so we all have taken our vows, to just go for material enjoyment. It is so deep rooted, actually. The propensity for enjoyment, literally, is so deep rooted. So that's why it's not easy, right? So to develop that attitude of, or to counter this attitude of material enjoyment is not so easy. So even after knowing the philosophy, it may be difficult. Still, we'll be fumbling, we'll be struggling with that. So what can help us actually, if we want to really work on coming out of this attitude of material enjoyment is actually if we associate with those devotees who have that kind of attitude of service. So when we hear from them, when we associate with them, when we observe them, then actually our attitude will start changing. Instead of aspiring for material enjoyment, we may start aspiring for serving the Lord, serving the devotees. That is possible only by the association of those powerful devotees who are having that service attitude. So the philosophy is not just sufficient. Like think about it, Bruce, that some of us at least might be knowing, at least I was aware that I'm not the body, I'm soul. And from childhood, we would hear this. It was understanding. Of course, we were not very clear. I think the soul has a spiritual identity, the spiritual and all those things were not so clear. But at least this was known theoretically that I'm not just the body. How much we thought about it, that is different thing. But at least that understanding was there. But we were going ahead, with the way the whole world goes on, in terms of only having the plan for, better life only. There were no solid plan for spiritual life. We wanted to be good and all, pious and all, but there is no clear spiritual path. Even the philosophy was there. But when we meet devotees who actually have the right aspiration to go back over to Godhead, to serve the devotees, to serve the Lord, to please the Lord, to purify the heart, to awaken love for Krishna, correct? And become proper servants. When we associate with such devotees and we hear the philosophy from them and associate with them and serve them, then you see our attitude very fast changes then. Immediately, it just keeps changing. Very fast it changes actually. So immediately one will actually, cut down. There's so much of material, like people just give up, tea, coffee, people give up any varieties of, water. Things are not favorable for Krishna consciousness. So it's a big sacrifice. Once Radhanath was saying that he was a very great yogi. So he was doing tapasya from long years. He was living long also. So maybe like many decades, he was doing his yoga practice and all. His many followers. So he asked in confidence that, actually, how do you give up? I'm not able to give up my beard, smoking, ganja. I'm not able to give up. So he was actually confiding that I'm having so much of yoga practices and have a lot of yoga ball and all that. But somehow I'm attached to this smoking like that. So, but we can see that, our devotees just within, some sessions, discover yourself, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 sessions, that's all. And we can see that how immediately so much of, the willingness to give up anything not favorable for Krishna consciousness is immediately comes. So from where this kind of attitude has come, to give up this, to sacrifice our material life, or the plan, the material enjoyment, the variety of material enjoyment we are stuck in before. So that happens because of not just philosophy, but philosophy also an association of those people who are practicing that philosophy in their life. So hearing from them and by their association, then this transformation will happen. Otherwise, just hearing philosophy in itself may not bring much transformation. That's why it is important to hear in Guru Parampara. Because in Guru Parampara, when we hear, then we also develop that kind of right attitude also. That attitude of service. Because those things will be also given along with philosophy. It's not just the philosophy with attitudes, with the right kind of attitude. So both things together. And then only the real transformation is there. Because if there is a philosophy, but there is no change of attitude, it's not of much worth. Like Hiranyakashipu has philosophy, but no proper attitude to serve. He was not having any attitude to serve. Correct? In fact, he wanted to kill the God. He knows the philosophy and wanted to kill the God. Just imagine, just think. And he's charging from it. So that's why very important for us that we always have to keep this aim. That whatever I'm doing, reading, hearing, chanting, and all that, its whole attitude of doing the whole thing should boil down to my becoming better servant of Hari Guru Vaishnava. That's the whole purpose. So we have to always keep this as our end goal in our mind. That I really want to become better servant of Hari Guru Vaishnavas. Correct, no? So if this is not put in center, if this is not put in front of us, with proper focus, then we may actually, know a lot, but we may not be actually getting transformed much. Yeah. And even sometimes we may be hearing from Guru Parampara, we may be hearing from devotees who have very good attitude, but we may not be able to capture them much. It may also happen. If we ourselves are not willing to bring that transformation within us, we may be like Hiranyakashipu actually was told by Prahlad. He kind of heard his philosophy also. He had his Mahabhagavat association in his kingdom as his son. But even that association did not help who? Hiranyakashipu. It did not help in that sense also, correct? Even though he was in Guru Parampara, Prahlad Maharaj is the disciple of Narad Muni and he is hearing, he's telling also, Tatsadhu Varya Survaradehinam Sadasamudrinda Dhyam Asatgriha Hitpatupatam Grihabandhakupam Vanam Gato Yada Harimashaya. You take the shelter of Lord Hari, go to Vrindavan, serve the Lord, please the Lord, he's telling. But Hiranyakashipu is not able to understand. See? Because he's not willing to change. So this is also important. So it means first thing you have to hear from the right source, Guru Parampara, those devotees who have this kind of very high attitude to serve the Lord, please the Lord. And we also should be willing to bring that transformation within us. Otherwise, then also it may be difficult because we will be attached to our own ways of thinking, ways of being. So that's very important. So what is this attitude actually? This attitude is mainly what do you think? What kind of thought process we have? I mean, it can be thinking different aspects of life, like what is my attitude towards devotees? What is my attitude towards the holy name? What is my attitude towards prasadam? What is my attitude towards my younger devotees, towards my equal devotees, towards brahmacharis, towards sannyasis, towards grihasthas, so towards any person who is outside, I mean somebody who has not taken to Krishna consciousness. So what particular thought process are you carrying? So this actually determines our attitude. That actually is what is attitude. In Hindi they say manobhav, manovritti. Like, how do you think? They say, what do you think about yourself? Prabhu, what do you think about yourself? So that is attitude. His attitude is to he has so much attitude. Sometimes people say the outside world also. What does he think about himself? So actually, yeah, that's what. So what do we think about ourselves, about other devotees? What actually is the thought process deep in our heart, in our mind? How do you think? So that is what our attitude is. Are we seeing deity just stone? Are we seeing Guru as an ordinary person? Are we seeing devotees as all fellows who are having so many faults? They're having so many varieties of they keep giving trouble only to me. You understand? It's all depends upon our attitude. What do you think? How do you think? What is your attitude towards the profession? Oh, this is my all shelter, Because of this profession only I can survive. What do you think? You understand? Somebody may think, what is my profession? Profession is actually, okay, this means to serve Guru and Krishna. Some this profession is there. Fine, I'll work, I have to earn some money. What is my attitude towards my salary? How do I see money? What is coming in your pocket? What is your attitude towards it? So attitude actually it pervades in all varieties of thought process what we have. That's not actually our attitude is. And Sri Prabhupada says advancement Krishna consciousness depends upon the attitude of the practitioner. So this all determines actually our progress. So wherever we fall short in having the right kind of attitude, our progress will not be that much. So we have to learn all these different attitudes. Yeah. So we have to observe the great souls, Srila Prabhupada. That's why hearing Srila Prabhupada pastimes and it sometimes very vital to understand what kind of attitude we should have on different things. So like what should be our attitude towards society with the master? Sakshat Vikraya, Samasta Shastre, Katadam Agate, Sachi. One should worship the Guru as good as God. But one should not see Guru, one should not think Guru only is God. So both extremes, one should be careful also. So Srila Prabhupada has given the right attitude. Now, how one should think about his Guru? Same way, how a devotee should see his relatives. So these are all very important thought process. And sometimes we only can understand it. Of course, our seniors can also understand it. But we also have to be very much vigilant about it. How do I think about all the different aspects? And when we hear from Guru Parampara, then we be actually able to modify it. Because you see, okay, but I was thinking like this. Like once I have in my PDC time. So one devotee, he was kind of became upset with me. So then I was trying very hard. Now I was giving, I asked forgiveness, but he was not so much, like showing so much, okay. And then I gave some greeting card also, asking forgiveness, some gifts also he gave. But somehow the devotees are reciprocating only. I was thinking, what is this? I'm doing so much. And I offered him obeisances. Still he's not, he also offered obeisances, but still he's like, aloof only. From his expression and behavior, you can understand that he's still like not willing. So then I was like kind of feeling frantic. What is this? What is this? He's not, and I was not feeling so good about that devotee. What is this? And then I went to another devotee. One devotee somehow, I just revealed this thing to that devotee. Another, he's a bit senior to me. And then the devotee told a very good thing to me. He said, see, Prabhu, you want to be forgiven for what? Is it like you want to be relieved of the reaction of, some Vaishnava Prad or something? I mean, are you focused upon your, kind of better perspective in terms of I should not have any reaction, and I should not be miserable, or, or like, maybe I should have, I want this stamp of that I'm, everybody is good with me or something like that, So is it like that, or are you really feeling the pain? And I know there will be some, because of some, things he was upset. So do you feel some pain for his being upset because of some things, some behavior of yours or whatever it is? Are you feeling for that or not? So really give a very, good insight to think about it. That sometimes we are more concerned about, Prabhu, forgive me, Prabhu. This Vaishnava brother, I will not able to, So, okay, Prabhu, why don't I forgive me, Prabhu? What is this? Well, but I cannot do anything. Forgive me, Prabhu. So sometimes we are more concerned about the reaction, our troubles, I have to undergo most troubles. What are material, spiritual? But mentality, you see the mentality. But a devotee actually doesn't have that mentality. What devotee thinks? Just let the suffering come, let the reaction come, no problem. Let the reaction comes. But I have displeased that Vaishnava. So I feel bad about it. Let me not displease him again. That is his more focus. You understand, no? His more focus is let me not displease that Vaishnava. That is the essence of this whole thing. Because I have displeased him. Let me do something by which he's pleased again. So then after this reflection, this kind of, then I was trying to serve him some ways. And now we have very good relationship, nice relationship. That way. Okay. I saw even he was trying to do some service to me, unknowingly. I saw that also in him. So I was amazed. I was thinking, see, I was doing it in the right way, with the right attitude. So you can see when we have right attitude, people also good comes from them also. Then actually, we bring out good from others also. Then, when we keep the right attitude, correct, like that. So that's why it is very important that, of course, knowledge is important, but along with knowledge, having the right attitude is also important. Like I had knowledge that yes, Vaishnava brother is not good, we should please the Vaishnava. So much thing was there, but because of hearing from that devotee who gave me the right attitude, then I could apply. At least I got some direction to apply, and then I was very peaceful. Yeah. So I was not so much demanding then. You have to forgive me only. No. You take your time. I want to see you are pleased. You forgive not only whatever, but I want to see that I please you. I don't want to upset you. I don't want to displease you. You getting us, bro? So this is how attitude can be reformed. So when we are looking forward to change in our attitudes, how I think, that is very important. How I think, what I think about myself, what I think about other devotees, what I think about, some devotee you may see some fault in some devotee. How do you think about him? You may see some seniors, maybe sometimes doing something which you feel like it's not proper, then what do you think about him? So these are all things that we've done in our this Krishna Conscious training program. So, so another thing which I wanted to speak that actually one of the very crucial factor in terms of bringing out the right attitude from attitude of material enjoyment to attitude of service. One very important factor is obedience. Obedience to one's spiritual master, obedience to the senior devotees. The obedience is a very, very important principle for bringing out that transformation also. Because see, sometimes it may be difficult to just bring out the change in our attitude just by our reflection, or even sometimes, taking some association. Maybe not so easy to immediately do it, because it really takes some time, sometimes it may take some time. But one thing at least we can be sure is this obedience is something which is quite, it depends on us. So sometimes, even though it may take some time to rectify, our heart from material enjoyment, from attitude of material enjoyment to attitude of servitude, or being servant, proper servant of Hari Guru Vaishnavas. But if we can actually be obedient to our superiors, so this can actually facilitate our progress, towards having this transformation. So that's how again Bhagavatam also describes, Shastra also say that those who are obedient to the Supreme Lord, they are the devotees. And those who are disobedient, they are asuras, demons. So Shivasan Prabhu, do you know this verse?
From 16th chapter.
It says about those who are
Vishnu Bhakta
yeah. Yes,
Asuri.
Vishnu Bhakta.
Mritadevan Asurya
Asurya Tad Vipariyat. Says that. So those who are against the Supreme Lord, they are not inclined to obey him. So they actually are demons. And those who obey the Supreme Lord, they actually are devotees. You getting this point? So if we actually, so now see, in our attitude to serve, in being a servant of Hari Guru Vaishnavas, what's the obstacle? The obstacle is our own material enjoyment plans, correct? Or plan of material enjoyment. That becomes an obstacle. So the demon within us is basically the demon that what we can say, how we can understand is basically our propensity to enjoy, independent of Krishna. That is what actually is the demonic tendency what we have. It may take different shapes and forms. But the point is the essence of whole thing is that I want to enjoy independent of Krishna. I have my own plans for material enjoyment. So this is actually the demonic tendency. So now to follow the Supreme Lord, to follow the superiors. That means you being obedient to superiors, obedient to Supreme Lord, obedient to Guru. So what sacrifice you have to make? You may have to cut down your independent plans of materialism. Yes or not? You understand what I'm saying? You may have to cut down. It's a sacrifice there. So obedience automatically brings out certain kind of sacrifice. If you are willing to be obedient, yes, I want to obey you, Prabhu, I want to obey you, my Lord. Then immediately there will be set of things, injunctions will come, which you have to abide by. And when you have to abide by those instructions, then automatically your plans of material enjoyment will be hampered. You understand? It will be hampered. So now, attitude in terms of like really being, wanting to serve the Lord, please the Lord, having love for Krishna, love for Vaishnavas, maybe different. But at least by being obedient to Hari Guru Vaishnavas, what is happening is, at least we are willing to sacrifice, our so many plans for material enjoyment. And that may be actually painful for the conditioned soul. That will be painful. But he knows it's good for me. And this only will bring eventually the right transformation. So he takes that initial step to be obedient. And when you become obedient, then gradually you will see that because of you being obedient and ready, to make a sacrifice of, not going for your whimsical material enjoyment plan, then by the mercy of Guru Parampara, we gradually get that transformation. We become proper servant in our heart also. You getting this, no? So this is how the transformation will take place. Like you see now, our Dhruv Maharaj, he was actually having the attitude to have so much, such a big kingdom, greater than his great grandfather also. And so for that purpose, he was actually going to God. Correct? But because he obeyed, see, Hiranyakashipu also had that desire to have such a kingdom. No? In fact, Dhruv Maharaj has greater aspiration for Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu was at least, feeling himself subordinate to Brahmaji. But here Dhruv Maharaj wanted a kingdom greater than even Brahma. It was a greater kingdom, correct? So aspiration was even bigger than Hiranyakashipu also. But what was the difference? Hiranyakashipu, he did not follow any authority. There was no devotee, no guru, no order of the Lord. He was ready to follow. But our Dhruv Maharaj, he followed another way. You see? And that makes such a big difference. Then, you see, our Dhruv Maharaj, he became such a great transformed Vaishnava that he was saying that, Kacham Vijayama Vaki Vidya I was looking for this broken pieces of glasses. Now I got time. The darshan of the Lord, the service of the Lord. Correct? And he's only wanting to serve his Guru now. He doesn't want anything else. Serve the Lord, nothing else he wants. So see, such kind of seva bhava has come. How? Because he obeyed his Guru. The obedience to Guru is such a big transformation can bring him. See. So it was not that he agreed to obey his Guru, Narad Muni. Immediately he was like, all the pure aspirations, pure service attitude came on. It is not like immediately it happened. But because he did that, by the mercy of Narad Muni, by the mercy of the Lord, could have the transformation. You're getting this point? So obedience is a very important principle in our life. So if you're not having this principle, obedience, then it's very difficult to have the transformation. Very, very difficult to have transformation. It's not possible actually. So that's why, this is one of the very important principles. Like Srila Prabhupada says also, without being disciplined, without having obedience, without being sense control, no one can become successful in following the instruction of the spiritual master. And because without following the instruction of the spiritual master, you cannot please the spiritual master, and then you cannot actually please the Supreme Lord, you cannot make any advancement. So he says DOS formula: discipline, obedience, and sense control. The first candidate comes. So without being disciplined, without being obedient, and without being self-control, no one can become successful in following the instruction of the spiritual master. So you need to be obedient. So obedient is like, when obedience is there, then discipline and self-control will come. Yes? So obedience becomes so important. Because when you're obedient, I want to obey him. Yes, I will follow. And fifth canto, our Rishabh section, there very beautiful, way it is told how one should deal with mind. So one of the thing, if you see in the, I think it is the 6th chapter, 5th canto, 6th chapter, I think, towards the end, the purport it comes. He says, one of the powerful weapon to control the mind is disobedience. He says, disobedience. So that means you have to disobey the mind and its demands, plans of material enjoyment, and you have to obey the Guru. So these are the powerful weapon, he says, when you disobey. So you have to say, we have to disobey the mind and you have to obey the Guru. Obey the Guru Parampara. Obey the devotees. So this can bring, this transformation. So otherwise, if somebody is not obeying, then he's obeying mind. He's not obeying Guru and Krishna, then he's obeying his mind. He's subordinate is always, Tatastha. Jiva is always Tatastha, marginal potency. He has to obey. Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita also, that we always need superior dictation. Yeah. So if you take dictation, are you taking dictation from mind, which is influenced by material energy, illusory energy of the Lord, or are you willing to take dictation from the Lord, through spiritual intelligence? That is, the spiritual intelligence nourished by Guru Sadhu Shastra. So this is a very important factor. So by obedience, one can actually eventually get the transformation. If you have to stick to the principle of obedience. But if you are not obedient, then we are actually, nowhere. Then we have no way only to protect. There has to be somebody who we obey. If there is nobody, then we are in a very dangerous situation. Because then mind is only there. Mind is our master. He will tell us like that. So it's a very, very important principle which Shastra is telling, the obedience. So there's a difference. The demon means they don't obey. And then what happens is the independent plan of material enjoyment will take over. And the devotees, because they obey, so that's how they, by the mercy of Guru, by the mercy of Krishna, eventually the transformation will take place. So like we said also, the three kinds of disciples. So the third class disciple, it says that, okay, let's say the first class disciple, it says that he understands the heart of Guru. That means he has attained love for him. He knows what my Guru wants, what Krishna wants, and he acts like that. First class disciple. So he understands. And then he just follows. He doesn't need to be instructed. Before instruction comes, only fulfills the order. Understanding the heart of his Guru, heart of the Lord. He's so much aligned, so much in love. And the second class disciple is he obeys. What is told, he will do. Jo bola, so yeah. That he will do. The second class. And the third class is, I guess. Yeah. So he is told, but still he will not do. He will not do it. And maybe some further class also can come. No? He's told something and he does something else only. Completely opposite he will do. So anyway, so this is our different levels like that of obedience also. So the second, at least we should try to be second class, at least. Okay, at least being told, so we should know that we should carry in our heart and mind. This is something which this is my shelter. This is my rope. Because if you hold that rope, then eventually you can come to the platform of having love for Guru and Krishna. Then alignment is automatic. Then alignment is automatic. Yeah, it's very joyful then. And the second level is maybe a little painful. Why it is painful?
Which one? Second.
Yeah, at second level, to be on second level. Of course, maybe from third level, we are trying to become on second level. But it's really painful. Why we have it's painful?
Difficult to give up.
Yeah, it's difficult to give up our independent plans. Yes. To obey, you have to do those things as per that person's desire. Then your desires gets compromised, kind of thing. Let us suppose you have brought big feast plate is there, not to eat, think I'm enjoying this. And suddenly, your superior comes and says, Prabhu, come on, we have to go and the cleaning required, immediately the class will come. Please come. And you feast, Prabhu, but I want to take feast, it is hot. It will become cold, the winter already. So that enjoyment is getting hampered. Correct? So to obey, you have to make a lot of sacrifices with that. It's good for us. It's good for us. Otherwise, think about it. How will you otherwise make progress? If you have no one to tell you like that. This kind of sacrifice is it can happen through us when we have somebody to please, we have somebody to obey. If no one to obey, then how will we make that sacrifice only? Then we are like Gyanis only. Gyanis also don't have anyone to obey much, I sacrifice. Why I sacrifice? Because I am great. I don't eat. From last 20 years, I have only eaten raw food. Raw food, they say like that sometimes. They boast. So we become like Gyanis only then. In case we have still some kind of, ability to renounce or make sacrifices, that only will increase our pride. So we are not that kind of, we are not talking about that kind of sacrifice over Jnana. That Jnana is made one that's not considered so glorious. What is glorious is when a devotee or the person, the divinity, when he's willing to make sacrifices in order to obey the Supreme Lord. Because that will bring out eventually the Seva Bhav. The Jnanis don't have anyone to obey. They're obeying their ego. Yeah, they're simply working for their ego. They want to be God. They want to be freed from all miseries. So that's how they don't want even focus. So that's the Seva Bhav doesn't come. Seva Bhav will not come. You see? And the best of the Jnanis also what they will get. Even they perfect their life, where they will go? Brahmajyoti. Correct? You will go to Brahmajyoti at times. And the demons, those who don't obey Lord, best of the demons. They don't obey the Lord. And Lord kills them. Where they will go? Brahmajyoti. Destination is same because Seva was not developed. Amazing, right? See? So devotee is completely different. So this is a very crucial factor in our life. Because if we obey, then we have a chance. Because then automatically you see. Because with this principle of obedience, you will have the right kind of drive, right kind of motivation to actually give up or cut short your plans for material enjoyment. Right? Yes? Like the spiritual master may want, some of the one of the example, I want you to, be at this place and develop preaching. So you might have to make a lot of sacrifice. First thing, he may be getting some bigger job somewhere else. So he may not know I'll be here. You understand? And then certain comforts may be compromised. So things. So that obedience, principle of obedience brings automatically this kind of, containing our independent plan for material enjoyment. And which is the demonic tendency in Lara. That is the demon within. To enjoy independent of the Lord, enjoyment directly. So this right attitude will come. First, obedience will be there. Even if there is no proper attitude, first let me be obedient. And then the right attitude also will develop by the association of Guru. By the further sections of Guru, by further association of Guru and devotees, by observing them, learning from them, being submissive to them, by their association, the right thought process, the way we think about ourselves, the way we think about Lord, think about other devotees. So that will develop eventually. Correct? But if that obedience principle is missing, then it will be very difficult. What do you think? Yeah. So that's a very important principle. And if obedience is there, then eventually all this transformation will happen. And we'll actually be able to progress in that kind of seva bhava and everything. One point was coming in mind. Getting notion of allowed my point went somewhere. Anyway. So yeah. So this demonic tendency, that means to enjoy independent of the Lord, enjoy independent of the Lord, that's the real problem. And this attitude can be transformed. I mean, attitude can actually, from enjoyment to seva bhava can happen only when we have this factor of obedience to those principles. Okay, any questions or reflections? We have 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, it's open. College open. You can put the. Prabhu, sometimes, as you're telling second class, she's giving up. Sometimes we want to give up, but the attachment is it's too intense.
Correct.
So giving it up, like obeying the superiors, like might bring aversion to the spirituality. I mean, it's not like we're going away. It shows little discomfort. If it keeps repeating, then shows like the aversion might get increased. That case, like, is it because we don't have proper aspiration? Like, that is happening, or why it happens?
One thing Prabhupada says, that even suppose sometimes somebody is not able to follow the instruction of spiritual master, he's not resentful. Not resentful to the instruction. And you may think that, okay, I'm a bit too attached to certain things. But until unless I don't lose that attachment, I have not much chance to do that work. I have to work on it. At least taking that humble role will help us at least. Taking that humble role that I have to attachment and I am my own willingness not to give up, unwillingness to give up. It's my own unwillingness to give my medical attachment. That is what my spiritual master is telling to do this, or whatever devotees are telling. Actually, I should be doing it. I should be just ready. But I'm still attached. At least becoming humble, being that itself is a progress. At least acknowledging. Yes, I'm attached. That is such a kind of progress. So good. If we can actually acknowledge that in our heart. Yeah, I'm attached. I'm not getting it. Then pray to the Lord. Chant the holy name. Read Prabhupada books. And develop that strength. You understand? No? Because you are feeling fear, no? You are feeling fear. So how you then do it? Because you think that if you obey, and then what happens? I will suffer in my body. The fear is there. The faith is lacking. Conviction is lacking. So recognize that, I lack all this. What is this? I have to do my homework. then that devotee will become more serious in his spiritual life. I'm not able to hold it properly. What is this? He can admit, Prabhu, Narad Muni told Guru Maharaj, you should not have this kind of feeling. You go back, go back to your kingdom and all. He was giving some advice, which is very befitting to Brahmana. Just forgive them, forget about your small breaks and all. But he said, he very honestly told, please give me some instruction. I'm not able to, somehow I'm not able to hold this. He admitted that. We have to honestly admit it also. And also be willing. Be willing. So we have to see how I can be more willing to give up my attachments. So this is the right attitude to our attachment. But if we have attachments and we don't even want to acknowledge it, and we think it's all right, anyway, it will take time. Why you have to worry about it? If that's not being humble, you see. Then we are justifying it to our own selves. This is required. I will gradually only progress like this. But it's not very good.
So when that
when the right attitude is there, then Lord will give us mercy and blessing. Then we will be able to get that strength, and we'll also be very serious in our spiritual life. We will recognize this obstacle actually. I'm not so much willing. When we recognize its own unwillingness, see, all of us have this homework to do. I mean, at least I can say about ourselves, myself, that we are not like fully surrendered, right? So at least we recognize that itself is a humble, it's some beginning of humility. At least I recognize I'm not surrendering. Then there's a need, I need to surrender. Then you think, okay, what are attachments I have? Why am I not, willing to? Why I have this feeling? What is lacking? Am I not hearing that Krishna is good? Krishna will take care. Why am I having that fear? You will start questioning, and then you'll actually start seeking. How can I fill this gap? Why that fear is coming? Maybe I can read again Bhagavatam, one Bhagavatam. Maybe I have to associate devotees more. Maybe I have to chant more attentively. It has not yet happened. Attachments are still very deep. What's the problem? You understand? This is actually that should come, at least. You understand? We have to go ahead that way. Yeah, but we are not ready.
I was trying to map the 5 types of devotees in your last classes. So dedicated and missionary. So the second class devotee and the first class devotee, is it like, can we match dedicated to second class and missionary to first class? I mean, that is just a.
Of course, missionary is like the first class, for sure. That is there. Yeah, committed and dedicated, yeah, maybe. But they will also have some kind of thing. And as they become more mature, then they will become that could be. Yeah.
I was trying to understand. Actually, before this only, I was going to ask this question about Narada and Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj, when he said that, I'm sorry, I won't be able to follow your instructions. So what was his attitude? I mean, like.
No, he was telling his own fallacy. That, I'm not able to. He's just telling what he's seeing, okay, I'm not able to. So he's telling that. And he's not willing to go away. I reject you. I don't see you as my superior. He's not saying that. He's willing to ask, he's asking frankly, can you tell me how can what should I do further? Can you tell me some things further? Because I'm not able to do it. I'm not able to hold on. I mean, this is, he's so deeply hurt and he just can't go back that way. So he told all the good students are very nice. But he was honest to himself and he told them. See, that's what. Even sometimes you may feel that pain, you may feel that, what is being told, I'm not able to do this, but you're not resentful. You're not resentful. You have the gratitude. And you're willing to still be, under that superior only. Like that. And you ask for, you see, that way if you want to have some bargaining is okay. Having a bargaining with a superior is better. Much better. Because you may bargain and superior may say, okay, do this at least. Don't go beyond this. You do it. And there also you report back and you are within the boundary. of their superiors' instructions, that you have a saving grace. But what is the dangerous thing? Most dangerous thing is that you give them the superior only. That's the most dangerous thing. See, baptists will just obey, if they are able to do it. That is wonderful. Why to bargain on? And when you're bargaining like this, you can actually, criticize your own self. Let's see how, attached I am. I'm just trying to, bargain for this. What is this? I still have not done my homework in Krishna Master. What is this? You understand? No? Yeah. Earlier I should be, doing this, let's say, whatever. Like say, so we have to go for, our studies, like in our college time, we have to sometimes, go for studies, little bit compromise on a morning program. Yeah. So sometimes, so then thought become, if I had planned nicely, then why should I have to miss? Why I have to miss some part of Mangalarti and all that? Why? I could attend full because I did not properly study. Then I need some kind of, time further, and then I'm compromising on it, which is not very good, If I want to please superiors fully, then I can be fully present. Even during exams also, I can be there fully. But because I still, not properly planning and I have my other things, so because of that, I have to take from that time. So we may ask our superior, who can I, take some off and all. They say, okay, what happened? This is the funding, I did not properly study, my time got wasted, this and that. But okay, fine, take it. Attain this much and then you can go and study, no problem. It's good. But let's say another person, doesn't only tell only anything, and he takes off, and he, then there is no, connection only. No, there is no ropes, which is making sure that we are, going somewhat in the right track. We never know. And when we fall in a valley, we don't know actually. You getting this point, no? So we should be very frank, One thing I have to be sure, I will be obedient. I cannot go beyond. If suppose you bargain and superior says no, then you should actually obey. If you think no, I cannot do, then you should have some superior. If you say no, I cannot follow, then you should have somebody who gives you shelter. Of course, one should not just keep, okay, I'm not able to follow him. That person is alive, okay, I'll go there. Then he does not, okay, then I'll go third one. If we have that attitude also, then, see, you have to be somewhere, sincere. We cannot be just like playing around. We cannot be like just for our own something to get fulfilled. We just roaming around and trying to get sanctioned for something. That is not what I'm trying to tell. But I'm saying that we are genuinely wanting to actually follow, and you're finding some kind of difficulty. So you can go to that superior. And if you find that what superior told is really, you can go to his superior. No, you can go to his superior. You can have frank discussion. But what I'm saying is that not being obedient is very dangerous thing. So you should always have somebody under whom you're working, and you should always have someone for whose pleasure you're working. Both things are required. So for the pleasure of someone means like it's a kind of by that you develop, you come to the higher and higher platform. That is for the pleasure of someone. And under somebody, then then nothing should be like, there's nobody, for this. You're always under someone for everything, actually. Somebody is there. So there are certain ways of doing those things. Somebody is there. We are accountable. And for someone's pleasure, you spiritual master pleasure, Srila Prabhupada pleasure. And maybe that devotee's pleasure only. The devotee who has told under whom you are working must be for his pleasure. But there is to be someone for whose pleasure we are working and under somebody we are working. So it's very important. Any other question? Thoughts, questions? Yes.
As you mentioned, that obedience that should be one of the best way to develop the attitude. It's just that sometimes, for example, some material duties or some duties that are not exactly related with your spiritual life can actually, in long term, that they can actually take out the motivation to stay obedient to Guru or to an senior. So to keep up this motivation to be obedient, is there any perfect way or proper way to do that?
So it will be in good touch. Regular touch will be there. Important.
Regular touch.
Regular touch will be there, yeah. Very important. And there is a lot of gap. So then the heart of the superior starts palpitating. What's it? Palpitating.
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 Palpitating. Starts palpitating. So just like parents, no? Suppose child is not seeing only. अरे क्या पढ़ाई कर रहा है? He's playing, he's studying, what is happening, no report, nothing. You have to find out, he has to tell. Some communication has to be there. Like that. So same thing. So we have to have some regular connection, regular touch. That has to be there. If regular touch is not there, there is a possibility.
Like in case Guru, sometime we cannot approach Guru directly, but
You always have a guru, Prabhu.
like
You always have a guru. We don't accept that facility. Who is guru? The one who is there to catch you here. He's a guru. Somebody is there like this. He's a guru for now. And he's representing your guru, basically. I'm not saying he's guru whom you have to perform Vyas Puja for him. I'm not saying that. But guru means what? Somebody who is ready to give you some good instruction. He's a well-wisher. He's ready to help you someday. And you can be accountable to that person. That time he's acting as a guru, local guru. That Guru system was like this only. Not sometimes Guru will have many, students. The elder student to take care of the younger student. You have to take it that way. We should not be too proud thinking only my Guru will come, we will catch my ears and we will do. Not like that. We have to be obedient to our local superiors. That is how we have to exercise obedience. Otherwise, it's very difficult to come over all this propensity for enjoyment to Seva how it is. It is only theory only then. Radha he says once he went to a temple, there was a devotee who was so much learned in Shastras. He was quoting left and center, cut, Radha was very impressed. Wow, quoting the scriptures so nicely. And then later, after some time, then the devotee was confiding that he is facing a lot of lust issues and when like that. So Radha was surprised. How is getting into so much of problem with lust and all that? He's studying and he's quoting Shastras like absolutely right, so much. And then eventually he got to know that how the temple president and other superiors, managers and temples and social authorities, they also dispute with him. Because every time he comes for some service, he says, oh, I have to chant. Sorry, sir. No? So we'll always say something like that. So he hardly, aligns with anything what this thing. Doesn't align with me. He has his own plans, his own things. So you see, so there is no obedience, nobody is there. See, Guru is somewhere else. Now he may say, I follow my Guru. But Guru is not there to give you that. He's put you under the custody of someone, no? And you say that my Guru. When they come, then I follow my Guru. But Guru is saying that he follows them, no? So they know under no one actually. That's how that the enjoyment plan for material enjoyment will not go away. And we have to allow, we have to feel that. See, it will be painful, Prabhu. See, it's all painful program. Why? Because the conditioned soul is attached to material enjoyment. Conditioned mind is attached to material. To cut that, on our own strength is very, very difficult. How can you just give up? No? And Jnana passing on, you can try, torture your body, do some things and try to get rid of material. The best other supplying ways, you follow the devotee. He will make sure gradually it will be over. You keep following that. Just follow this principle, you follow that person. Keep following. When you do that, and gradually, the right kind of attitude will come, everything will happen. And they all will come eventually. It will be painful. It's not easy. In conditioned mind is not ready. Why should I follow? Like that. It's easy to just go for my material exam. Easy to just go for a job, earn money, infuse money, I want to get with. But don't get on give charity, 50%. Is the punishment for joining is gone or what? 50%, what is this? Impractical. Okay, give 20%. 20%. Still being cruel. Okay, 10%. Not good. 5%. Maybe. 2%. I'll think about it. 1%. Okay. Something like that. You understand? It's painful. You're getting it's painful. It's always painful. I'm just giving one example. It's painful. So, like that, anything. I'm sorry if I'm giving one example. I'm not intending that only this example. Anything. For anything. For any instruction comes, when we have to obey, some sacrifice has to be made. Yes or no? Like today we are having a retreat. No? So I was just thinking about it. Like yesterday I called some boys. They agreed to come. I was thinking, these boys have made sacrifice. See, they could have, the divinity has plans, no? So he will have some thoughts. He may do something. And he takes some time to think. Like many of the boys immediately they did not say. They said, let me think. Okay, I'll let you know. No? And now they agreed. Okay, I'm available. So that means what? That means they're ready to make that sacrifice because they're thinking that there's something higher than them. Correct? That's what. So if you have this understanding, this is how I can actually develop my proper attitude, seva bhav, love for Krishna, by obeying my guru, by obeying devotee. This is how I can. So then we will be able to. We need to take that pain. It's an austerity. It's an austerity to follow the instructions. It's an austerity to obey. It's an austerity to be accountable. It's not easy. Every conditioned mind wants its own comfort. It doesn't want to have this kind of getting this space. It doesn't want that. But we have to tolerate that pain. It's good for our false ego and for our purification, for our conditioned mind. We should think it as a facility. It's a big facility. That somebody is there who can catch my ear, who can give me feedback, can correct me, who can chastise me, who can tell me, Prabhu, you're a fool. I should feel happy. Oh, good, somebody is there to tell me that. Otherwise, I'm only fooled by Maya and I never knew. I always get fooled by Maya. But this Prabhu, first time he's telling, only sometimes he says that I'm fooled. And I'm fooled by Maya so many times. So why did he feel bad? We should think, thank you. At least Prabhu, you are helping me to understand how I'm fooled by Maya. The problem is that a devotee is against your conditioned mind. Devotee is not against you. He is a well-wisher. He is enemy of our mind and we are friend with our mind. That's the problem. So we have to give kick to our conditioned mind and catch the devotee. Prabhu, kick him more. Together we'll kick. You getting that? This is how we should be. Instead of, well, why did he speak? My conditioned mind did not like it. You and me. That is how it is. So that's why it's difficult to obey. Because mind will cry. Conditioned mind will cry. Hey, what? You're obeying him? What about me? I'm your master. I'm your eternal master. Don't you know? Why are you obeying him? And you see also, Prabhu, and you actually serve. So there is a great joy which comes in when you start obeying. It's a lot of reciprocation. It is not some kind of dry surrender. And obedience what you take up. So there's a lot of reciprocation will be there. You start experiencing the real joy of devotion, actually. Otherwise, being very devotional, and all that, maybe many times in India, it's I'm also devotee, I'm also devotional. But there is no proper commitment, there is no proper abiding to the instructions. First of all, they don't receive any instructions much. They don't have anyone, very bona fide person, and they're not inclined. They're devotion. That is not what our pure devotional path is like that. So that's why Vaidhi sadhana bhakti is what it means we abide by the instruction of such. What it says. Out of sense of duty. So the demons, they don't obey only. When there's no obedience, there's no transformation. Attitude remains very, very bad. They cannot give up material environment at all. Very difficult. Same way, devotees also will progress many years may go, but our material environment potentially will not go. At least one thing we can be sure of. At least I can be obedient. How much I can overcome material environment potential and all very subjective. How will you do? At least one thing you can be assured. How much I have bhav, sometimes you feel so much bhav for the gopi valva. Oh, I have so much of bhav. No, I'm feeling tears only. And then you will feel tears for something else also. Your job you're not getting, you'll feel tears also. Or your job is gone, then also you feel very, you'll also bhav more. There also you become bhav overwhelmed. Both places become overwhelmed. So very difficult. At least one thing we can be, I can be obedient. This means something practical. Yes or no? Is that more practical? That will be obedient. Why should I, dispensably live my time? बड़ा दुख पाई अच्छे स्वतंत्र जीवन I have got so much of misery because of being independent. That's how very deadly it is. Today we sang a song, no? Prabhu Tava Pada Yogi. He said, Nahi mangi deha sukha vidyata jana. I don't want to deha sukha. What I'll do is how much time. Then help me out. So in one of the purport of the right is the living unit is so made that he experiences extreme bliss when he's put under the subordination of the Lord. This is when we are actually when we are put, when we are situated in our position as subordinate to the Lord, then we are more happy. So when you are obedient, then actually you're preparing for the real most happy platform. That's how the soul becomes happy. This is how we become happy. We will think, no, this will make me sad. No, this will bring me a lot of miseries. No, that will bring the real happiness, actually. And somebody who starts obeying and it starts following instruction, you can see how the devotee converts of this, but you can see that. The surrendered devotee is blissful. Unsurrendered devotee is miserable. You can see this. Those the disciples who have surrendered themselves fully. You can see how blissful they have become. One of them is the return because they obeyed. They agreed. Yes, I will do. It's your mission. You want me to do? Okay, I will do it. I come forward. They may be having heavy background. They will be like previous to that. In the previous portion of their life, they might be having big kind of material enjoyment kind of life. But because they agreed, so gradually by the mercy of Prabhupada, mercy of Guru Prabhupada, it could happen. The transformation took place. So this is very important. Okay, any other question?
Question here. How can we maintain same intensity in sadhana and seva along with fixed up consistency? Okay.
Yes, I feel so. One of the good answer could be association. Should have somebody whom you feel that he is fixed and intense, associate with him. If possible, go to him physically, ask him, associate like that, do devotion with him. If not, at least remember that devotee. And maybe if he's a little far, call him and ask him something. But you'll always find those sincere devotees in your vicinity. Always there. Only thing is we are not observant enough to see. There are always sincere devotees around us. Always. But if you think that nobody is there, then find out somewhere. Somebody. Take inspiration. There are always people who are very sincerely practicing. And one other thing they say, just do it. Anyway, just do the reading. Just do the reading. It will bring out the intensity. You do it anyway. Then you will not be feeling do it anyway. So that way we will be consistent. And keep reporting. So there's one thing, if you're obedient, if you're in touch, if you're reporting, that's where we'll tell, hey, what is the sadhana going on? Last month you did not read on me. What is happening? So to one brahmachari, Rajam told you, every day you send me, your sleeping time and wake up time. Every day you send me. And then you send, to the 11 o'clock I said, what happened, Prabhu? Like the Rajam will write, question mark, 10 question mark. What happened, Prabhu? One Shankar was that devotee. And then that devotee will have so much of, okay, today I'm going to sleep early because Raja Shankar message. So every day, because so sometimes when you are too much off track, it is good to have daily continuity. Prabhu, I will daily send you. That way, it will help me. And because you are going to catch my ear, I know. So at least, out of that sense of obligation and some healthy fear, I will actually, align myself. It's good for me to take that step. So that is also very important. That consistency will come up like that. Because we may not have that kind of eagerness, longing for Krishna that we remain so intense and consistent in our sadhana and practice and all sometimes. But that accountability to a superior, he will make sure you remain intense. He will ask you, what did you do? What about this? 5 minutes you wasted. 5 minutes you wasted. How? Tell me. I said, 5 minutes. Before I was wasting hours and hours, nobody was there. How from where you came now? Yeah. If you want to, I'm happy to serve you. How, where your 5 minutes went? Tell me, show me. You're accountable. How can you waste your 5 minutes? Correct? No? Yeah. If you give that kind of, I mean, if you're willing, Krishna will send you somebody like that. At different time, different duties will be there. But you'll get. But if you're not willing, no, nobody will do it. Because they don't give that. So even though devotees may be happy to tell you, but they will never tell you. Because you don't want. You don't want, then why they will tell you? Very simple. No? There's so many divinities. No? Krishna is giving the instructions and directions to so many, but those who are willing, Krishna gives them so much. ये हम आपको बता देते हैं. Okay, I think we'll stop here.